Hello and welcome to Super Mario Land 2. My name is Dad Infinitum, also known as Slash.
I'm Belthic Gaming. You heard me this morning. And we got Oh Dear here playing Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah, we're going to do a slightly different category than you used to see, which is Beat Wario, which we'll get into very shortly on what that exactly means. But I think we'll go ahead and get started. In 3, 2, 1, go.
So right away you're going to, if you've watched, was it the 80% glitched categories? That's one where you hit the turtle shell into the pipe. It's gonna be kind of like a similar setup to that. And then Odier's gonna go back into the stage, and I don't know the exact input to do it, but he's gonna go to the end of the stage and we'll be done with it.
So essentially, the one major glitch that's used in a variety of ways is what's called a carryover glitch. And that when Mario's state changes and you exit a level on the same frame, the game remembers it for the next time you enter a level. And that is version 1.0 specific. Dear Dimension is going to try for this strat in the first level a few times before giving up and just going through. What he is trying to do, though, is to die on the same frame that he enters a pipe. So the game will remember that he's entering a pipe. And what happens is that when you next enter a level, you're still entering a pipe. And so you end up going underneath the level. It affects the game in different kinds of ways. In the first level, you just end up on a copy of the level with no sprites. Sometimes you go past that and you end up in the game's memory, which we'll get to see later. So I think Deer's going to try one more time with this shell here. And I think he's just going to finish normal from here for the first level. This category does have a longer estimate than normal for glitchless, despite the fact that world record I think is a couple minutes less than the glitchless world record, and that's just because in a marathon, when you're trying to show off frame perfect glitches, then you have a high chance of going beyond what your estimate really is.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going for RTA attempts, I mean, you can just hit the reset button whenever you want. Marathon, I mean, even though you've seen a couple short resets here after 10 seconds or whatever it was, once O'Dear gets 10 minutes into the run, there's not going to be a reset at all.
Yeah, so the run's going to start very similar to glitchless. We're going to exit and go over to the tree zone. There's more of an open world than other Mario games. There's 6 zones you have to beat if you're trying to actually beat Wario and beat the game that way, rather than just going straight to the credits.
This is one of the worst stages because of the frog hitboxes.
Yeah, the easiest way to explain hitboxes in this game when it comes to enemies is if you're not moving down when you're on top of the enemy, then you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
I've been making a new task for this game and have seen all sorts of instances where hitboxes are just suggestions.
Yeah, I've had it to where I've been killed by the frog probably about 2 or 3 pixels away from its eye, nowhere near it at all. So the frogs are kind of just a nuisance just because of the tongue and their hop, and it's just not ideal. So here we're in the Jello factory. It's Jello, right? Not sap.
I mean, it's a tree. Why would it be sap?
It's true, it's a Jello tree.
It looks kind of like clarified butter with this color palette.
It does. So here, Deer's gonna get the bunny ears, everyone's favorite power-up in Super Mario Land 2. And basically float over all these spikes. Gets a 1-up because, once you game over in this game, you get to go catch all your medallions again. Not that I would know that or anything.
Right. The route for quite a while is going to be pretty similar to what you see for Glitchless. There will be some changes towards the end, and when those occur, we'll talk about it. But a lot of this is just normal Glitchless stuff. We can get the ears and hit into Tree Zone 4 here. If you do a super jump right there, you can reach those platforms. To explain exactly what a super jump is, if you hold the jump button for about half a second, you're going to cap out at a certain height. But if you release the jump button between 21 and 26 frames, you can get up to 8 pixels higher in the air.
I thought it was always based off of your speed. It's interesting.
As long as you're at running speed. If you don't have running speed, you can hold up and have a similar effect. Yeah, you have to let go of jump between 21 and 26 frames. And Deer missing the walk on the jump there.
Oh no, that's scary.
Yeah, Deer goes for the fast grab quite frequently. Thankfully, he also runs Small Mario, so he should be able to get back through this. That jump right there, very precise as Small Mario. But Deer's done this a number of times, so he's got no problem going right back through this. The biggest strategy aspect of this game is power-up management, which is why you'll see your Deer take a little bit of a detour here. He wants to grab a carrot and then get hit and then go back so he can get that fire flower, because it does speed up the bird fight at the end of this level significantly. Alright, he's going to take it extra safe this time too. So we're going to meet the bird boss, affectionately known as Bert. Very difficult first boss. Here you go. Such hard work.
I love how the egg that it lays or protects is like twice the size of it.
Alright, so we're going to go up here to Space Zone 1. We're going to go Hippo in order to get to Space Zone. But Space Zone's going to have a little different kind of way of getting through completely.
Yeah, the Hippo snot bubble is still the same thing. You still want to take the upper exit versus the lower exit. So
yeah, the lower exit in this, which I don't think people even pay attention to, is one that takes you just back to the overworld to the right of Macro Zone. Now would be a good time for a donation.
Greetings from Germany.
It's literally just press A. You don't have to hold right, B, or anything, and you go the same speed the whole way. Space Zone 1, we're going to see one of the two instances of moon physics. Your top speed is a whole lot different, and when you are just running... when you're not a task, basically, it's better to be on the ground than it is to be in the air. So you'll see runners try to be on the ground as much as possible.
So, O'Deer wants to keep Fireball throughout this entire stage, correct? Even for Tatanga?
In this instance, he will not. He still wants to be Small Mario because... it's still just faster to walk along the ground there. But... I think Deer got into a habit there. What he wants to do is he wants to go back to Space Zone 1. And what he's going to be attempting to do here, he's going to try to do the carryover glitch, but in a different way this time. In that he's going to try to get the Midway Bell, and then start Select out of the level on the same frame. So that when he next enters Space Zone 2, it'll register as him getting the Midway Bell in Space Zone 2. So you skip more than half that level, because that Midway is way later. Again, this is frame perfect though, so it's pretty difficult. Alright, the fact that he soft reset basically means he thinks he got it too late, which means he wouldn't have another opportunity. If he's too early, he can just go back and re-enter it again. Actually completing this glitch saves a considerable amount of time. Every time that you have to go back through the level, though, it does not save time anymore. But being a marathon, we want to try to show this one off. Alright, so Deer felt he was too early on that one. The way that you know that he gets it is a sound cue that when he enters the next level, you'll hear the bell go off.
So there's really no way of knowing until you actually just commit to it.
Yep. The Game Boy is a 50.9275, you know, that whole basically 60 frames a second. So all of these frame perfect tricks that we do with the carryover glitch are basically 1 in 60th, you know, in a second. So it's very fast. So we're going to see up here again if Oh Dear can hit the midway bell, the exact frame, or exit the level on the exact frame he hits the bell. Now, that was close, but
his dips into the spike pit as little Mario make me real nervous.
yeah, if you walk off of a platform and hold the jump button, you'll just float back up, which is a really interesting feature of Moon physics.
I do like this world. I like Space 1 more than Space 2, mainly because I do like the moon jumping aspect.
Yeah, Space Zone 2 gets a lot more attention because of the music. He was close, and his pause was just too long. His pause on pause. Yeah, it is quite infuriating. As someone who has run this category, it's very frustrating to miss it. And as someone who grinded the actual any percent category, that's under 3 minutes long, it is extremely frustrating.
Yeah, I can recall watching you and Deer grind any percent glitched and getting to like the pipe with the ant and the shovel, just and missing it. It's like, well, reset and get to play it all over again.
Yeah, we'll get to see that one again in here, but thankfully missing that one's only 10 seconds lost. This one is much more time.
Yeah. But this glitch is cool.
It looks pretty close. Yeah, it's just too high. I forget exactly, despite the fact that I have already tasked this level and know what it looks like.
I mean, at least they got good music to listen to as well, too.
Yeah, the music in Space Zone 1 is pretty sweet. It's not my favorite, but it's great. I do like the Super Mario Land 1 throwback in Pumpkin Zone 3.
Pumpkin Zone is my favorite zone in the game. Hands down.
Very spooky.
Yep.
So to go ahead and talk again about what Deer is trying to do right here, he is trying to hit that midway bell and then exit the level on the same frame that he hits the bell. What that'll do is something called the carryover glitch, and when he goes into the next level, he'll have the midway already, and then he can just skip over half, like 2/3 of Space Zone 2.
Which is worth it because you can't speedrun auto-scrollers, so...
Sadly not. fastest way to beat an auto-scroller is to just skip part of it.
Looks like you got it.
That was pretty close. Ah, I heard it. Yeah, we got it. So he's going to immediately die so that when he re-enters the level, it puts him where the midway bell is. And there we go.
What a cool glitch.
Yeah. The harder part of this, though, is that it does make you... you can only be Big Mario when you face Tatanka, as opposed to Fire Mario. So the kill's a little bit slower.
Yeah, but it's still a fairly safe kill. We'll say, unless you're a deer.
Oh boy.
Because typically, like, the safer way to fight that is to let Tatanga dip down and come at you. And since I think you have the Star Zone 2 physics in that fight, if I remember correctly, you can hit Tatanga on the last dip on when he goes to the left-hand side of the screen and kind of just fall down on top of his head every time it comes back into play, essentially. So,
yeah, the key to actually hitting Tatanga is you can't hold jump when you touch him. So if you're trying to float above him, you got to let go of jump and land on it. Yeah, so again, the reason on this route that we go for Small Mario, or go for Big Mario here and then into Small Mario, is because it sets up the pipe glitch again in Macro 1. Because you have to be Smaller Mario for that. You can be Big Mario, you just get hit right away, but this is just as easy. So, as before, we're going to try to die on this pipe and enter it at the same time. Yeah, easy peasy. So, if you just hold left here and fall, as you'll see, we fall below the copy of the level, we land in the game's memory, and we hit a level clear tile. So, what that really is we're down in the game's memory, specifically OAM, or the sprite attribute table. It's a very finicky place in that top level. Any sprites on screen, which is basically Mario at that point, wherever his position, appearance, and things like that affect what those tiles are. So, whether you're Small Mario, Big Mario, Fire Mario, Bunny Mario, it's going to impact what those tiles are. Also, if you're Fire Mario, you can shoot fireballs, which is going to also change what those tiles are. It's a very, very messy place to be. You'll notice here we're just kind of getting through an auto-scroller. This is a fun little, not quite glitch. Basically, if you're two tiles big in a one tile space, the game will automatically push you to the right. Alright, and then we're on to the last level of Macro Zone, Macro Zone 4. Just skip two normal levels. The short auto-scroller is much faster than both of those. Getting hit on the spikes there, unfortunate, but not a total loss. Get a carrot and carry it until the fire block at the end. We do want to have a fire flower going into this fight. It makes the rat kill much, much quicker. There we go, get the fire flower there.
This is a pretty short level to begin with, too, so...
And the conveyor belt helps speed things up, that one track. That jump is very difficult to do, though. So the rat kill you want to take... Whoa. Oh, right. We do want... I forget, we do want to be Big Mario after this for a very particular reason. Normally you would just take a small jump, shoot your 6 fireballs, be done with the fight. But we do want to be Big Mario because, again, we're going to go back into Macro Zone 1, take damage, and then try to die on the pipe so that we can skip Pumpkin Zone 1. So this is the common route for the 80% glitch route, which is be Small Mario going into Macro Zone 1, die the same frame you enter the pipe, and then go over to Pumpkin Zone 1 and clear it. So this is the one setup we have very established as opposed to some of the others. Alright, so what you're trying to listen for is the sound of Mario entering a pipe and dying at the same frame. It's a very specific... I actually have a perler of Mario dying on top of the pipe with the shell next.
Has he got it?
Yeah, if you let yourself, if you're running this and you just let yourself die, even if you have the sound off as a viewer, you know it got hit then, because otherwise we soft reset immediately. So we're going to go down. When the timer hits 493, we press right. You make a full jump up, and as you start to descend, you hold left, and that's the setup for that level. Pumpkin Zone 2 is a little bit scarier as Small Mario, just because there's a lot of enemies in. Swimming is also another thing that was only more recently understood, in that there are two different swim speeds when you're holding right. The way speed works in general is there are 8 frame oscillation patterns. Underwater, the fastest you can go is to go 1 pixel per frame. But one of the other patterns you might get is going 7 of those 8 frames 1 pixel and then 0 on one of them. So you go just slightly slower. You can change your speed by either... usually it's just by touching the ground, but it's all predetermined by when you start accelerating underwater. Thankfully, you can visually notice it. I guess we're 20 minutes in, it's probably a good time to explain corner boost, something that's been happening since the first level. If you jump on a particular frame, you might get Mario's head to kind of scrape the corner, and it gives you an extra pixel of movement. It doesn't save a ton of time overall, but 1, it looks cool, and 2, it does save a little bit of time. There's enough of them that I think it could add up to almost a second. We want to get a carrot in here to make the witch fight a little easier. There is one particular mushroom block, or question mark block we want to hit. If you jump, full jump from that last chain, you'll hit it every time. The witch fight, she appears on either the left or the right, and you have to hit her 3 times. Fireballs don't make it any faster, because after she gets hit once, for any reason, she'll disappear. So you definitely want to jump on her. But whether she appears on the left or right is random for the most part. Have sort of found in tasking that, like, which direction you're facing can influence it. It's still not an exact science. Left, right, left is the most common pattern. It's the one that we always hope for, so that's why we're going for it here. You'll see him lose the ears on purpose here. That's to get the firefly. Because we're going to go back and enter Pumpkin Zone 1, because we have a quick and easily accessible pipe that we can just enter and start select out of. We don't have to try to die on the same frame we enter the... Just like that. And this is where the route from Glitchless changes, because we're going to go straight to Mario Zone rather than Turtle Zone. In Glitchless, you go to Turtle Zone because you have the carrot after that level, and then you can just fly over the whole level. But here, we're just going to try to hit a tile right there by just running right against it as much as we can. And we got it. into a particularly suggestive level of Mario's Zone. It's the balls.
The ball zone.
Losing your power up is pretty irrelevant up to this point because there is, right there, a carrot at the end, which we'll want to get through Mario Zone 3 quicker, and we'll keep going from there. Mario Zone 3, a lot of conveyor belts, so having the carrot allows you to either fly over once or in the wrong direction. It also just gets past this part, which is an absolute nightmare to play a small Mario. Having known playing a randomizer and this is the first level and you have no choice.
Oh, there goes the duck.
We're going to bypass the little grabby hands. You can actually jump in the same manner they grab, or like you have like a 2-frame window of jumping out of them once they grab you, but it's super specific. You also run on that ball there at the end just to get a slight more speed.
And then we got the Nintendo blocks. I forgot what Nintendo actually called them. They were like Legos, but Nintendo did have a brand for Lego.
Is it NMB?
It might be.
Yeah, it is. It's written on the...
Oh yeah, there it is, yeah.
Thing. They were released in like the 60s.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, nice throwback there.
Maybe someday we'll get their playing cards in the game.
So that fire flower block that he hit, he already has a fire flower, but he hits it anyways because if you don't, it actually causes more lag on the screen. It's the fact that power-ups are also sprite. So here we are with the pigs. You just try to jump as close as you can to them to hit them as fast as possible. That was a whiff. Come on, dear. Loses the carrot. Loses the flower, which is not very important because, as you may have guessed, we're going to go back to Pumpkin Zone 1 again.
Are you saying that we're going to cheat in a speedrun again?
I mean, I guess. So we are going to try to bypass Turtle Zone 1 by getting another level clear tile in the game's OAM. This one looks a little bit different than the others. We don't actually want the fire flower here. Again, because that top layer is completely dependent on what your appearance is and what direction you're facing and such. So we're going to go down, fall into the water, and we try to edge up as close as we can and face the left, and then just do a little jump once we're on that second layer, and that moves us into a level clear. He did not actually clear the level, though, as you saw. So that's something else that can actually happen. Normally in this run, we would go back to Pumpkin Zone again, and then try to clear Turtle Zone 2 that way. However, Turtle Zone 1 has two different... it doesn't, but... basically, there's two different level clear tiles. One corresponds to the normal exit, and one corresponds to the secret exit. Turtle Zone 1 doesn't have a secret exit, but if you hit the level clear tile for the secret exit, you beat the level, it just doesn't count as you being able to go past it or start select it once you're already there. Because secret exits just let you go to the secret exit, they don't actually count as clearing the whole level.
So when Oh Dear is going out of bounds like that into memory, is it pretty safe? Like if a new runner were to do this, like is it pretty safe to do these, or is there a lot of risk to soft lock or hard locking for the matter?
So you can. It's definitely hard to do if you don't know what you're doing. You definitely want to know what the setups are or play around with it. Once you get down a few layers in there, you start getting into the game's read-only memory. And if you try to break any of those blocks, the game will just crash. So it's not so much that you won't be able to continue playing, it's just that you'll be forced to hard reset and continue from there. Turtle Zone 3 has nothing outside of the normal glitches throughout, so Deer's going to be going through this as quick as he can. You can also see that he has still very much routed the kills on this, so that he ends this level with 99 kills, which we'll see is very important in the don't blink too fast on this boss, it goes pretty quick. Swim up next to him and shoot as many fireballs as fast as you can.
See ya, octopus.
So, Belthic, you're more of the expert with the castles. Why don't you tell everyone about that?
Oh, I love Wario's Castle. It's my favorite stage. Yeah. We'll talk
favorite or just more time spent?
Well, I mean, is there a difference?
You learn to love something if you've been there long enough, right?
The 3 times that I have speedrun this game, the amount of times I've wanted to quit the speedrun when I get to Wario's Castle has been 3 out of 3.
Imagine if you got so mad you broke a controller.
Imagine if someone got so mad they snapped a Super Nintendo controller in their hand from this game. So yeah, Wario's Castle. Here you're gonna see the intro screen is pretty basic. You gotta take a few damage boosts all through here just to keep the momentum going. Otherwise, if you stop, then the piranha fireball cycles get a little weird. In this stage part here, we have these moving platforms on the propellers. They're a little trolly, especially the one where you have to jump against the wall here, where Oh Deer almost fell into the pit. The timing on this one is if you do like a big jump off of the moving propeller against the wall and slide down the wall, you'll land on it. But sometimes there's the timing that's a little weird. Also through the stage, there's switches that you see Oh Deer hitting. Typically, you would just jump over them so the hands don't come down. Yeah, what else is there? Get some stair climbing. Stairs are the hardest thing to do in speedrunning. And then after this, we have some, I think it's dead fish. Yeah, some dead fish platforming that we're going to do.
We just call them bone platforms, but you can just run along them. If you jump on them, though, you save a whole 7 frame.
And then we have the room that looks scary, but if you just hold right and run, it's not scary at all. So that 99 kill count that Slash or Dad was talking about, whenever you hit 100 kills, you get a star, and Oh Deer's going to use the star to kill those Wario heads very quickly. Otherwise, it takes 1 spin jump to kill them, or 2 normal jumps to kill them, and their bouncing can get a little erratic if it's been around for a while. So here we're at Wario. I don't know the whole spiel with the dropping potions to the top. I've never been able to figure that out, but 3 hits on Wario's head and he's down for the count.
Something important in that first phase, he does want to make the screen scroll right when the timer ends in a 0, 4, or 8, so that Wario drops at the earliest possible point in phase.
And here we are into the final phase of Wario here, the Fire Wario. And got him.
Deer trying to show off a not seen often glitch. Basically, if you pause the game exactly, I think 83 frames after the last hit, it bypasses the credit song. It just keeps playing the Wario fight music indefinitely. But yeah, that's Super Mario Land 2 Beat Wario. Basically try to beat Wario as fast as possible, using glitches along the way. we'll let some credits music play out here for a little bit. There is a Super Mario Land 2 Discord talking about speedrunning or tasking or randomizer, anything like that. So you can reach out to any of us for that, be it me or the squirrel in chat or Oh Dear himself. Mr. Super Mario Land 2, as one might call him.
You got the randomizer, the DX, and there's a lot to go with Super Mario Land 2, honestly. Like, I personally am not a huge fan of the game. It's fun up until Wario's Castle.
It is a very steep incline, right in difficulty, right.
Yeah, for difficulty wise, I'd say it's pretty on par, pretty average until you get to Wario's Castle, and then it just spikes to just impossible. If you're wondering who's the person that broke their controller playing the game, it is 100% not me. Definitely not a video of it somewhere. But yeah, no, I'd say if you're looking into getting into speedrunning, you like Mario games, I mean, give Mario 2 a shot. I personally would say run any percent glitchless, as your first category.
Do not,
because it is the easiest one to learn, in my opinion, out of all of them.
I tried to do the glitch category before ever playing this game.
Yeah, well, sometimes we make mistakes, and sometimes we don't.
Yeah. Alright. I think that's gonna do it for us. Stay tuned for Adventures of Mana. It's the only PlayStation Vita game in the marathon this year.
Yeah.
Then we got some more Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance overnight, and a big old Zelda block tomorrow.
Big old Zelda block.